Hey everybody, Luke here. So today I have one of the biggest haul videos that I've ever made on the channel, and just jumping right into it. I have this yearly tradition now with one of my closest friend groups. We all take a trip to Day Out with Thomas in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, and we go up to the Strasburg Railroad, and we spend the better part of a week together. And usually, and definitely this year, I have come home with many new additions to my ever-expanding collection. So today I'm going to quickly talk about all of these. There's a lot to get through here, so I'm going to try and go more quick than usual. But yeah, so I won't go out and list every single person that was in attendance here. I'll make a separate community post tagging them, as well as one on Twitter later. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, without further ado, I'll just go ahead and mention certain people who helped me with these items when their names come up. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Since after all we were at Day Out with Thomas, I think it's pretty fitting to talk about the Day Out with Thomas item first. So this is the first, I guess, Trackmaster 4 item that's been released. This is the new 2025 motorized series, and these are the only ones currently in the United States. So definitely a bit interesting for me specifically, because this is the first and currently only one of this entire range that I own. And I do want to save my, more major in-depth thoughts for the actual review I want to do on this, just because it is the new design of Thomas going forward, I guess. But first impressions, though, I'm really impressed with this. Honestly, it's super cool. Love the face there. Detailing is wonderful. And there's the Day Out with Thomas emblem on the bunker there. He also comes with a troublesome truck, which has a nice face and some cake detailing. Thomas has like streamers and confetti and cake on his cab roof and window or front cab windows. That's interesting. But yeah, overall though, this Thomas is really cool. Such a fun novelty item, though I am disappointed they didn't have a wooden railway one. As far as I know, the wooden railway 2025 model is only in the UK, which is really weird. I don't know why they did that, and I'm actually kind of annoyed because, every single year they've had one in wooden railway, and now I can't get one, so I'll have to maybe import that at some point, unfortunately. But moving back to the 2025 Trackmaster model, I guess, motorized, I don't know. It's really nice. Continuing the Trackmaster theme, here we have a talking Toby.
Hello, I'm Toby.
So, I guess he just introduced himself here. But I saw this at a flea market and decided it'd be fun to have. So, Talking Toby here, I believe this was released in either 2012 or 2013, near the end of the original Trackmaster line. And, he's all right. Decent face there. It's very similar to the regular Toby, except, of course, for the very elongated box car here that holds the batteries and the switches back there. His talking button's right there. Weirdly, that is sun-faded, but the rest of the cab roof isn't. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, Toby talks, so let's listen to him.
Did someone call for a really useful steam trap? Well, jingle my bell. I'm happy to help. Creaking cowcatchers, look at my special.
That doesn't really seem like a very special load, Toby. But yeah, there's Talking Toby. So I also got some rolling stock. This is the Mr. Bubbles brake van. This came with the Slippy Sodor Thomas pack. And I had the Thomas and the other truck that came in the pack, but not this. So I picked it up for a few bucks. Just nice to have for completion's sake. We also have this red circus car with the elephant cargo in there. And this came in the 2008 Carnival Fun pack. And unfortunately, the previous owner glued this in to the truck. It's really stuck in there. I don't know how or if I'll get this out. I would like to try at least, but I don't have anything on me at the moment to do so. But yeah, still a really nice piece. I like the detail on the elephant itself a lot. And a red slate truck, that is interesting. I haven't had a slate truck in this color before. And also, here we have an orange flatbed, and this has some steel beams on it. This was not the original cargo that came with this truck. This was, it was a steel load, but it was more like the triangular one. This came in a different pack than this truck, I believe, but they're both from 2011 Trucks and Track packs. Either way, though, this is a really nice flatbed. I've had a red one of this for a while, but the orange one's nice too. And this steel beam load here is really special. Also, a few non-train Trackmaster things. First up is the Marin station building. I believe this came in a set from like 2012-ish, somewhere around there. Either way, though, it's nice to have an actual building for Marin station. So again, nothing too extraordinary here, but still, I mean, it's just nice for set building and the like. So yeah, I'm happy to have this. They also have the Hit Toy Company Trackmaster Railroad Crossing. This is an insanely cool piece. It's also very hard to find here in the United States. I believe this was only sold in the UK and Canada, both of which it was in a set. It was in 2 sets, I think, one of each country, but still a really, really cool item. Again, very hard to find in the United States. I'm really, really happy to have this. So I think now's a good time to mention, I did not really a trade, but basically I used my account to buy a bunch of things on eBay UK, and I sent them to the house of my really good friend, Fergus Fan 1. And what he did when he flew over to the US to meet us, he brought all this stuff that I bought for me so I wouldn't have to pay for the shipping cost. So absolutely massive shout out to him. I mean, a lot of this haul would not be here if it weren't for him, and I'm still incredibly grateful for that. So thank you, Fergus. There's a lot more that's coming up later in the video. It's still an incredibly nice piece. And I also have these 2 little suspension bridge girders, and basically these would clip onto a riser or something and be part of a bridge that would go like on either side of the track. Like, you know, you'd have them sort of set up like that. I don't have any track to demonstrate, but you get the idea. So moving on now to a couple smaller miscellaneous categories. I got one brand new Thomas DVD, Thomas and Friends Help Out. So I had this DVD when I was a lot younger, and I eventually lost it, and I haven't had this one in my collection for probably over a decade at this point. So really glad to have this. Now it's like $1 at a flea market. Very cool. I also ended up getting 2 Thomas minis at the Down with Thomas event itself, because they had like minis for sale. What you do is like you buy this case that holds 8 minis, and then you pick which minis you want to put in the case, and you buy it. So pretty neat idea, honestly, and I got 2 of them here. So this is Galaxy Ashima. I grabbed these 2 specifically because they were the only 2 I didn't have. And what I did for the case was I went in with a couple friends, and they got some minis they didn't have, so we ended up like splitting the cost of the case. But yeah, there's Ashima. I like the printing on her, you know, still kind of an out there concept for a mini, but it is kind of pretty, so I like that. And then definitely the cooler of the 2 is Origins James. So, you know, from this side, it looks kind of normal, and then you turn it around, and he's actually being repainted into red, and it's pink there because, you know, the pink undercoat, but then, you know, he'd be repainted red on top of that. Still, though, this is a really fun concept for a mini, and although I do kind of wish we had a regular Black James mini, you know, this is still a fun concept at least. There's also a model train store at the Strasburg Railroad, and they have pretty much every single Bachmann Thomas product there. So I always come home with a few good things from that shop. And first off, here we have Sir Topham Hat Car. This is a pretty new item. I believe it came out close to the end of 2024. So I'm actually not too late to the party on getting this one, but still an incredibly nice model here. I love the shade of blue. I love the shine on the windows. The size is great, and it actually rolls as well. Just a super, honestly, like sophisticated looking model for the Bachmann range. I'm really happy they're doing more non-rail stuff, and because that's been sorely lacking in the range for over a decade at this point. And this is a super, super clean model to have. And speaking of non-rail items, I also got Jeremy the Jetplane, because this was just one of the Bachmann items that I've been putting off getting for ages, and finally bit the bullet here, and I got him. And I gotta say, I'm overall impressed. I like the detailing. The sculpt is really nice. He's very proportionally accurate. The only complaint I have is that his wheels don't move, and I feel like this would have been pretty easy to do, all things considered, so kind of disappointed for 35 bucks. You don't have the moving wheels on the plane, but it's okay, because, you know, normally he'll be flying anyway. But yeah, still just a really nice piece of set dressing, honestly. So yeah, look at his little face. He got a little smile down there. And then moving on. So basically what I did here for context, Bachmann has released their new figure packs. And basically one of my friends, GTSH Productions, he bought 2 of them, and he only wanted the livestock from these 2 specific packs. So first off, here we have Farmer McColl and his sheepdog, Katie. So these would have come in a larger pack with a bunch of sheep, But basically, my friend G, he was like, hey, I only want the sheep from this pack. I don't really care about the figures. Do you want them? And I was like, absolutely. So I ended up paying him a few bucks back for the figures. And, you know, all things considered, they're not that bad. Although I have discussed my disdain for the figures on Twitter already. So if you want a more in-depth look on my full opinion on those, you can check my Twitter thread. But honestly, still gotta say, they're a bit more charming in person than I thought they would be. And I had no plans to buy them at first, but I'm actually kind of glad I ended up getting a couple just for, you know, ownership's sake, I guess. So, and this is also the only piece of merchandise I have of Farmer McColl and his dog. So also kind of nice there. These might appear in my series at some point. It's really hard to get these in focus and also stand up. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, there's those two. And I also have Farmer Trotter, because G also got the pack of Farmer Trotter and his pigs. So G took the pigs and I got Farmer Trotter. Still, this is probably my favorite of the two human figures I have. I like the shovel piece a lot. He seems a bit more detailed with the vest and everything. And the eye painting, or just the painting on the face in general, looks a lot better than the Farmer McColl one does. If I can get the both in focus there. So yeah, there's the Bachmann figures. I don't know if or when I'll be buying any more of them, but those are the three I have currently. Next up, this category is extremely exciting because it is all Brio. And finally, I have finished my Thomas Brio collection. So, once again, I do need to shout out Fergus for importing all of these for me. These were the last few Brio items I just could not find outside of the UK. So, I was able to just import the last of them. And that does mean that I have finally completed my Thomas Brio collection, which I am absolutely ecstatic about. So, the first one I got up is Edward. Now, I am going to wait to talk about these more in depth because I do want to make a more in-depth video on my collection, so keep an eye out for that. But Edward here, he's awesome. I love him. I mean, what else can you say? I love the whole Brio range, so this is just awesome for me. Edward is a favorite for sure. I also have Toby. And I actually bought this from my friend Splendid Rory. I met him up at the railroad as well, and I got Toby. So he's very cool. The only one I didn't import. But interestingly, has Mavis's face there. But yeah, Toby's really nice. I also have Oliver as well as Toad. Two also of my favorites. I love them to death. Oliver especially is just one of the best in my opinion. He looks incredible. Toad is also great. Love the face there. Just super, super simple, classic, just great toys overall. And I also have Annie and Clarabelle. So there's a look at them. They look really nice. I like the colors on here a lot. I like that Clarabelle's got her guards compartment there as well. Again, super nice here. And last but certainly not least is Terrence with a wonderful face there. Very long, very wide, still really nice though. He is missing treads, which I don't really care about because that would have made him way more expensive if he had them. So, gotta say, still very happy with this. And now to move on to the actual Thomas Wooden Railway stuff. First up, I have a 2014 model of Ben. So, pretty self-explanatory here. I just did not have this particular year of Ben, and now I do. So, I need to find a bill as well. But I have every single year variation model of Bill and Ben except the 2014 ones. So now that I've got Ben, don't need to find a Bill, but still, he's nice. Really good face here. I like the blue color a lot. Still, just honestly, happy to have him. And the other train-related thing I have here is the green baggage car. So this came in the 2013 version of the oval set. It replaced the red one, and I have two of the red ones. I never got a green one until now. But still, this is a super nice piece. It's just a good rolling stock piece, nice for goods trains, stuff like that. I also have this track crossing piece here, and this is a super nice piece as well. And it may not look super special ordinarily, but this is actually ridiculously hard to find. They never show up online, and if they do, I just haven't been able to find any. So seeing one of these in a flea market, I was really happy about because it's just a hard to find piece for me. And I like the angle here because most of them, you know, they're on like a plus shape. So it's actually really good to have one of these that's sort of at an angle. And this is going to be super helpful in layouts like for shunting yards and of the like. And also, here I have the mini dairy barrel loader. This came in the Man in the Hill set, sold between 2010 and 2011, I believe. And this is really interesting because I got the entire Man in the Hill set last Strasburg meetup in 2024. And now here in 2025, I have the one piece I was missing from that set. So the miniature barrel loader here, super cute. You know, it's just been downsized from the regular one. It's about half the length total. Still got a little roof there, and the the barrel function works the same. Just a nice piece of set dressing too, and it's also just really nice to complete the set. And speaking of sets, gonna have to zoom out a good bit for this one, but I now have the Blue Mountain Quarry risers, and these are from the 2012 Deluxe Mountain Quarry set. So for those who don't know, this was only sold for 1 year, and they're very hard to find. So these are basically reused from the Racing Down the Rails set, except now they've been repainted in this dark blue for the Blue Mountain Quarry, and the bottom line has been removed. So basically what you do here for these risers is you'll put pieces of track in between. Normally it would be larger radius curves, but I don't have any on me at the moment, so it'll be smaller ones, and they'll fit in frame better this way. But that's how they go, like so. So you'd have a double hill on this side and a singular hill on this side. So it makes up about 1 level going up total. And it's just these 3 that were in the set. And, then it just goes straight from here and then curve around and go back down. I don't know why, but I've always wanted this set really bad. And the risers were the main thing. And honestly, I can live without the rest of the set. But the risers I'm really happy to have. And they just look super cool. So once again, these are just going to be really, really fun for layout building. The last category is all of the die-cast stuff. So first things first is an Erdl Falcon. So once again, I do need to shout out FergusFan1 because this was just straight up a gift from him, and I love him for it already. I already owe him so much just in gratitude for importing everything else. And then on top of it, he got me Falcon as a gift here. And also in that lot came with 2 gunpowder wagons. Now I do have 2 of these already, but I will happily take 2 more because they're just fun to make a train out of. Still really nice items. But of course, Falcon is the main star of the show here. And of course it is just Sir Handel with a different name because that was his old name and everything. But I'm just really happy to have this because I don't think this was sold in the United States, so that makes it even better as a gift from a person in the UK to a person in the US. And yeah, once again, just really happy to have Falcon. I'm getting so close to having every single Erdl item now. And there's also some take-along stuff here. So to start out, this is a Charge and Go Thomas, and basically, long story short, there's this set that had a water tower, and if you put the water tower spigot there in the dome, it would like charge Thomas, and then he would like be motorized. I have no idea how that works. I've never looked into it properly, but this is just a neat item to have. It was $1 at a flea market, and it is broken. The wheels are a bit chipped off there, so I don't even know if this thing works or not, but honestly, for $1, I just thought it'd be cool to have in the collection. And then also, for take along, I have the Snowy Sir Topham Hat Car here, and this was sold to me once again by GTSH Productions, so again, shout out to him for that. And this is just a cool little model here. It's Topham's car with snow on it. He's got snow on him as well, and there's a little wreath on the back. Next up, I actually just got this one in Bachmann form, but also I got a take-along Jeremy. Happy to have this one as well because Jeremy is probably one of the most expensive take-along toys, and I cannot fathom why. But these things pull like 50, 60 bucks on eBay. So I found one in a flea market. He was still 20, which is not nearly as bad, so I just ended up biting the bullet and getting him anyway. But I'm happy to say I have him now, at least. His eyes look a little freaky, and he's mostly plastic, but still, not a bad model. Just kind of neat to have, I guess. So we're getting closer to completing the take-along collection. And speaking of completing the take-along collection, I also got Byron. So I just did not have a die-cast model of Byron, and now I do. So Byron's really nice here, though. I like this a lot. Super detailed, very nice, colorful. Looks great. Got a nice face. The blade moves up and down. Mine's a little bit broken here. As you can see, the pin holding the blade to this side has come out. So I'll try and find a replacement or fix that at some point. Don't really know how, but I'll probably figure it out. But even then, though, it doesn't really affect playability that much, so I'm not too bothered by it. And it was $6 too, which is like a fraction of what you'd pay online for it, so can't really complain. All right, moving on to the last 3 items, all still die cast. So first up here we have Dusty Edward, and I believe this came in a pack titled Edward and the Joby Wood. So it's based off of one of those Misty Island episodes, but basically Edward's transporting some logs and gets covered in sawdust. Honestly, just a neat variant, I think. He's pretty cool looking. He's got dust literally everywhere. It's on a smoke box, cab roof, boiler, footplate, chassis, wheels, all around the tender. There's a lot of thought put into this one, and I like variants like this. It's just super cool. So that's the only take and play item I got. And also, the only adventures item I got was Light Up Racer Stanley. So, another really goofy, kind of pointless item, but they made they made 5 characters in this line total. They made Thomas, Percy, Rosie, and Charlie, as well as Stanley. And I don't have Thomas or Charlie, but I've got I've got Percy and Rosie. Stanley now as well. Charlie they only made in Take and Play too, but not Adventures. I don't know why. Either way though, Stanley's kind of cool. He's kind of like a flashlight, I guess. He's got the main white light in here for his color, and then an orange light that is meant to represent his firebox. And then the entire body's just clear plastic. Still pretty cool though. This was a gift from my friend Train Club. So shout out Noah, thank you, bro. And last, and honestly might be least, here we have a Neon Kevin in the push-along range. I bought this just because it is one of the dumbest items to exist, probably. A completely ironic purchase. I am very aware of that fact. And what makes it even funnier is that this is a UK exclusive, so I did have Fergus import this for me as well, which can't really believe I did that. But yeah, still just such a goofy item. I couldn't not have it, I guess. But I mean, yeah, he's got the most garish color scheme imaginable with the blue crane arm and the orange wheels and the green footplate. He's just really dumb looking. Push along Kevin, such a terrible item. But I love this for how just stupid off the wall it is. So yeah, definitely reminiscent of an era of the Thomas franchise I think we'd all rather forget. But still, I have it now, so that's all I can say. And that brings us to the end of this haul video. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing me yap about all these new toys I bought. So yeah, I will see you all soon with some more stuff, and I'll catch you later. So this has been Maximal D1516, signing out.